Chapter 12 Packaging Compliance Testing Program Section 12.1 Purpose. The purpose of the chapter is to provide the guidance and implementation of the Office of Hazardous Material Enforcement (OHME) Packaging Compliance Testing Program. Please consult the Regional Chief and the Packaging Program Manager (PMP) prior to all packaging purchases. Section 12.2 OHME engages independent confirmation testing in the UN standard packaging intended for the hazardous material transportation. Independent testing ensures that UN standard packagings are capable of passing all described hazardous material regulations, HMR 49 Code Federal Registry. OHME utilizes the U.S. Army Material Command Packaging Storage Containerization Central Logistics Supportive Activity LOGSO Laboratory at Tabonihana, PA to conduct the testing. OHME LOGSA have interagencies agreement since 1996. Design submitted to OHME and LOGSA is subjected to design qualification testing as prescribed as the HMN in the HMR. The testing is digital required and available in VI Web. The formal written report accesses recorded are provided by each project. The PHM periodic provided the RRC will design of the interest of the purchase will be based on the data-driven risk data based on principles. However, you may make unscheduled purchases during the course of inspection and investigation. If you feel like situation warrants, all purchases must be driven by risk of principle. Please consult with your RC and PAPM. Contact the information PPM. Anthony Lima is following 856-265-3054, mobile 775-307-4971, eFax, and Anthony Lima at .gov. Section 1223 Procedures, Section 1231. There's Section 12.3 Procedures, Section 1231. Unrated, non-bulletin, intermediate IBC packagings may be purchased from the number of sources, including packaging manufacturers, reconditioners, self-certifiers, end-user customers, and preferred sources of manufacturer preferring during a faulty inspection. Packaging purchases, manufacturer, reconditioners should be obtained by the existing inventory pulled out from the production. If design interest is not inventory or production during the inspection, do not request production of the design. Precautions should be taken to ensure the packaging pulled in the production meet the standard design and specification for sale and specification for sheets. Production test reports and should be obtained, carefully reviewed, determine that no design changes have been in compliance and testing proposal or purposes. The second preferred source of packaging would be from the distributors and the end users. If any inspection of the distributor or end user is not warranted and no or possible due to pending enforcement action, the investigator may attempt to schedule a visit to the sole purpose of purchasing product package not at the end of the user are required to self-package PHMSA. You may ask them to sell the packages and you may not force sale. If packaging is obtained from an end user and advises that they are not responsible for design compliance, only manufacturer or certified party are held responsible. In case of the end user of certified party, such as the end of which when they contract with the manufacturer testing the design for their own use when they are reasonable parties, the HMR provides a manufacturer certifying party must either be submitted packaging samples, tests, and demonstrated performance and testing. Regardless of source purchases, investigator must determine that each unit identical in all respects of current test report, closure, notification statement, including mark, rating, thickness of steel closure and inner parts of piece of combination packaging, observant material in the design head compared against the current test and report, obscure the instructions and ensure that no changes have been made after testing certification. The test report assembly closure ensure that provided the LOGSA review before the purpose. For other reconditional drums, each unit may be identical in all respects. The reconditional drums have been marked certification that they may not have a higher than manufacturer certification. Each reconditioned drum must be permanently embossed with the original UN certification. Reconditioned certification may not be higher than permanently embossed certification on the bottom of the drum. 12.3.2 Quantity: single packaging 24 units, combination packaging 12 or single packaging 24 units, combination packaging 20 units, intermediate bulk containers 5 units, regulated medical waste poly bags, red bags 20 units, when packaging multi-mark certification, e.g. XI18Y14 Z1.12, etc. Purchase one complete set of every certification. LOGS will conduct for each mark. Separate report numbers be assigned for each certification. Separate inspector's report should be prepared for each certification. 12.3.3 Evidence collection photographs and the entire lot of packaging must be taken. Detailed photographs with one or more individual units and must be taken. Photographs individual units should be compared, and all markings designed to have detailed observation reports for each design hat must be created. Observation report included investigator name, report number, date of observation, location, packaging number, certifier, total number of units, all available part packaging markings, dimensions, and all components parts. Each part of packaging must have a report assigned to it by an investigator. Each unit must be a report numbered by the evidence tape reportable by the UN certification. 12.3.4 Documentation. Investigator obtain The investigator must obtain a valid test report closure instruction for each design prior to the purpose, commitment, and recommendation. Reconditional drums closure instruction must be obtained from the vendor. If the vendor, reconditioner, e.g. distributor, ensures the reconditioner original closure instruction are obtained, and prior to the purchase commitment, for the new packaging, the test report must be matched to the design in question. Assembly and the closure instruction must be obtained. If the test report does not provide sufficient detail to replicate design as tested by a certified party, that design must not be purchased. Contact the PPM is necessary for guidance. If correct test report is obtained by the manufacturer certifying party that it designs most of it, not purchased. If test report is periodical, obtained original design qualification test report comparison to the periodic report. The investigator may also vendor to have the packaging of a short period of time while the test report's closure obtained. The vendor is not obligated to do so. The investigator may not commit to purchase or mark all units of evidence tape until valid test reports closure instructions are obtained and reviewed in completeness. Investigator may also ensure LOGSA will be replicating the assembly and closure and conducting design qualification based on design qualification and periodic retest applicable test report. If current test reports indicates that the design was subjected in periodic table, obtaining the original design qualifications test report to determine if any changes would invalidate the certifications. Apply in periodic testing, original design qualification testing of LOGSA, consult the PPM guidance. If the investigator must obtain written quote vendors at the time purchase commitment and shortly therefore after transporting charges and determining quote of the provided USC./PHMSA as the customer. Investigator name of the report number identifying on the quote of the LOGSA tracking proposal. The total quantity of the unit must be detailed and along the manufacturer's name, the design type of UN certification. If the more their design is purchased, and the investigator shall be instruct the vendor in detail each design separately on quota, the transportation charge, and should be separate online items. The quote must be provided on LOGSA as soon as possible. Fastest a mile is acceptable and forward the quote of LOGSA investigators on behalf of the primary point of contact LOGSA and Mrs. Charlotte and LOGSA for some miles of F570-895-7823. Mrs. Lent directed a dial number is 570-895-7160. As soon as possible, but there are no longer than 5 business days after the quote as being obtained, the investigator should be forwarded about the quote tester report and closure instruction as written request as purchase transportation arrangements of the LOGSA. LOGSA will not, without permission from the PPM, arrange purchase and transportation without complete quote and validated test report closure instruction. Written request investigator to purchase the design additional information. LOGSA notification, Chapter 12, Chapter 2.3, 12.3. 3.7. The reimbursement all packaging purchases must be made by LOGSA behalf of OHME. Two methods of reimbursement are available, but to the vendor purchases of $3,000, including transportation charges, the LOGSA will arrange for the payment of VIA credit card checking. The vendor does not accept for the credit card if purchases are more than $3,000, including transportation charge, and the purchase order will be prepared by LOGSA. If multiple disc signs are purchased and total costing greater than $3,000, the vendor may prepare separate quotes, and in quotes, the case of transportation charges should split between the quotes to keep the total expense of each quote on or below. If the vendor is unwilling to prepare multiple quotes, a purchase order will necessary. Purchase order will take several weeks to execute. Chapter 3.6 Packaging and Shipping. The investigator must notify the vendor to hold the packaging until the LOGSA contacts them and release the authorization. The investigator should advise the vendor to integral components of the packaging, including locking rings, nuts, bolts, gaskets, bungs, and inner bolts, caps, absorbent material, tape, etc. must be included in shipment. When the vendor has the ability to consolidate packaging, shrink wrap, stretch wraps, banding, and that they should additionally precautions protect the packaging of the transportation. Packaging should be transported on pallets when available. Packaging may be consigned to USAA, Army Material Command, LOGSA, PSCC, AMXLS -AT, Charlotte Lent, Warehouse 2, Bay 5, 11 Hap, Arnold Boulevard, Tobehaven, Pennsylvania 8466, 5097 57085 or 895716. Log LOGS notification investigator. Once the investigator makes a commitment to purchase the packages, a written request is arranged for the purchase of transportation. Testing must be forwarded to LOGSN within 5 business days. A correspondence email is sufficient. Must include the vendor quote, test report, enclosure, and notification observation. The supporting documentation should be attached to the Adobe or Acrobat files. The Miss Charlotte Lent email address is charlotte.usa.army.mil. The following examples of correspondence: LOGS, March 13, 2011. A. Hazmat Packaging Testing Team Leader in USAMC, LOGSA, PSCC, Logistic Testing Application and Division 11, Hap Around Boulevard, Building 2, Tobehaven, Pennsylvania. Dear Mrs. Lent, on March 13, 2011, I made an agreement with Drum Manufacturing Company Incorporated, DMC, Washington, D.C. for the purchase transportation of 25 455-gallon tight-headed steel drums, each marked UN 1A, 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 Y12, Y1.2 100 US-06-MO 0000. The quote was provided to via Fast Smile on February 11, 2007. Attachment. The report number is 06471001. The report number marked on each packaging. The observation report prepared to provide additional information about this design. Please arrange the purchase of transportation testing in accordance to the agreements of DTHPH F605K or A05-X009. Please review the design qualification test report, compare the packages, describe the various packaging, receive documentation and packages, components, fill, close of the test packages, required regulations, prepare reports, documentation, the specific details entails the package per required regulations, prepare documentations, then specific details of tests performed, operative non-bulk packages directives are found in Title 49 Code, Federal Registry, Sections 173.24, 173.24a. Actual test requirements are found in 178.600. The point of contact at DMC is ... Miss can be reached. If you can be assistant, please contact me at the office cell or email. That's a sample 1238. Other material information system entry. Within 7 business days, the LOGS notification of the HMIS must be created. Investigated entry is identified vendor or company record. The primary is back in 49. The secondary primary code should be correspondent in business and vendor and manufacturer type distributor chip, and HMIS must be provided by all available design information, packaging, testing area. The sum must detail the number of samples purchased of the unit, certification, manufacturer name, location, plant, where applicable, size, closure, and all other available information. Separate entity of manufacturer certification party as appropriate should be prepared by that when the vendor is not a responsible party for marking certification. The testing documentation. As for the completion of the testing, the LOGSA will be forwarded a copy of the test report of the investigator as a Word document attached in an email. Investigator shall forward a test report respondent and the accident briefing. The test report should be provided and responded even when the design passes all tests. The LOGSA will also upload a video of testing and complying and testing report of the OHMA website at ftp://phmhqn.wasoo5.ade.gov/. Logs will notify the investigator of the PP in any email, and that video and test report is available for download. The investigator must not notify the manufacturer certify the party as soon as possible. The video and test report are available for download provided by the PPM with the responsible party name, credentials to be used, and the video may be test reported and downloaded. Access website will be provided limited time. Investigators should be downloaded to video storage or the other on regions of network to drive. The PPM will arrange